even when your room is 80 degrees.
Like we are live. Oh, okay. We're live. I couldn't tell because sometimes YouTube is a little weird. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. So, this is going to be a new one for me. I am testing the waters here. Trying to stream on the shorts feed. Apologize to the people who are on PC, but this is the way the stream's going to look for the time being. And I just want to shoot the shit, honestly. I don't have anything like lined up or any like particular script that I'm about to go by or whatever. I just want to talk about what's going on in the world right now. So, you got any questions, any videos or whatever that you saw recently that you want to talk about? Main topic is going to be liberals and deportation, but no king stuff is on the table, obviously, because that's recent events. What's up, Corey? What's up, Lewis? I hope you guys are doing good. We don't have to jump right into the topic right away. If you guys want to just chat it up, we can. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys, so that way the algorithm can pick it up. We want to try to be as active in the chat as we can, so that way YouTube sees this as a real stream. What's up, Cryptic? How goes it? Did you guys see the video that I just uploaded? Finger licking good? That's too good. I'm sorry. That's way too good. I don't know if I'm feeling finger looking good today. Feeling good, but not finger looking good. So yeah, the video I uploaded earlier today was talking about the well, people say that it was ICE agents, but yeah, I uploaded a video earlier. It's a short, so if you want to go check it out real quick, go ahead and check it out so you can be in the loop. All the information is in there. Um, just border enforcement kind of dropping the ball if the story is true. As far as we know, it's confirmed that something did happen, and all parties have confirmed that it is a thing that took place, but we don't have all the details yet. So that's what we're really waiting for, is to figure out exactly the extent of what happened and why. But seems to be a verified story for the most part. So, like I said, once all the information comes out, then we can really get into the weeds of it. But apparently, uh, border enforcement was entering a family's house. They told them to put their dog in the garage, not in the garage, in the bathroom. And while they were searching the house, they went into the bathroom for some reason, and it resulted in the dog getting shot. And apparently, they didn't do anything to help the dog, and then they just left. They just like skedaddled, I guess, after they were done, and the dog died, which is just crazy, dude. That's such. I like just listening to the way it played out. Like I said, if in fact it did play out that way, it's just completely ridiculous. Like I'm like mind blown that something like that could even happen. Especially if too, like, like not that if the dude was illegal or whatever and they were like smuggling illegal immigrants or whatever through this house. Not that that would have made it any better, but like if that wasn't the case and they were just like regular citizens and then their dog had to be sacrificed essentially for these incompetent police officers or uh border security agents, man, that's par for the course for police. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say it's not it's not a story that you can hear and be like, oh, that's completely unusual and never happens. You know what I mean? Um, but I wouldn't go so far as to say like, oh, this is, par for the course, because that, that pushes a whole another narrative that I'm not particularly comfortable with. But I do think that it is a problem. What's up, Johnny? How you doing, man? I hope you are doing well. So I got myself a little distraction here. You guys don't have to pay attention to it at all, but I did put it on the screen so that way people can see it. Uh, Playing a little Mega Bonk while talking about some of this stuff that's going on, man. I've been looking at some of the clips from the No Kings thing, man, and it has been quite interesting. There's like completely two different universes of coverage on this thing. It's the everything was peaceful. Everybody there is a completely good person and is there for the right reasons. And then there's the most of these people have literally no idea what they're doing here, and a good portion of them are murderous people who celebrate political murder. You came in late? Nah, you're just in time. We just started not too long ago. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I hope you're having a good day. So I guess it really depends on what your algorithm is looking like. Like, what are you seeing on your feed? Because and then there's like the daytime version versus the nighttime version, which are literally night and day, which is it's hilarious. Because there's a mostly peaceful protest during the day and literal riots at night. They're all there for the same reason, but there's like a line of separation that people have kind of put out there. Hit that like button, guys. Don't forget to like it so that way visibility can go up. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I saved like on Instagram and YouTube or whatever, like a lot of the clips and stuff I was watching the people there. There's also the issue of like outside of the regular protesters and then the nighttime agitators, there's the paid protesters, like the people who work for actual organizations that handle all of the merchandising. They handle all of the tools and the materials and the signs that they get, and they operate those tents that they set up to make sure that everybody's getting what they need. It's that stuff too. So it really just depends, like I said, on what your algorithm is showing you. What's up, Spoonie? It's crazy, man. It is crazy out here. The thing that got me though, I think my biggest kind of turn off just watching the whole thing is these people, like, the narrative is, we need to have this rally because we have an evil fascist dictator king running our country. We are fearing for our lives every day. Like, we're just totally scared. We can't live. Our rights are being stripped away. But then when you look at the quote unquote protests, it looked like a block party. Like, they was just chilling. They was vibing. People was dressed up in costumes. They was dancing and laughing and cheering. And I'm just like, I'm I'm getting mixed messaging here. Like, algorithm has both sides, but I think right-sided stuff seems to be more punditry and manipulation. You think so? I think that's a problem across the board, honestly. I think that's generally a problem across the board. Um, Manipulation is happening across the board. Rather you're looking right or left, and the type of manipulation that you're going to experience is going to be different depending on which side you're getting it from. But I think manipulation's happening regardless, because you could argue easily Portland is turning cringe as far. Portland turning they're turning cringe. uh, I don't know about that. I think we've surpassed cringe at this point. Like we were at cringe before. It's gotten worse. Yeah, I think I think we're a bit past that at this point. It's kind of crazy, man. I know like I said, the vibe just seemed off to me. It looked like more of a block party. Like these people were just like having a good time. And then you did have people who were like, you know, just like freaking out and losing their shit. You know, the world is about to end. All of our rights are being stripped away. It's only a matter of time before we're in concentration camps. And I'm just like, bro, y'all been hearing that for like 4 years. Like Donald Trump was supposed to end the world during his first administration. Like what happened? Did he forget? He got busy, distracted. What was going on? You can't control people in mass. It happened in France, UK, Russia. That's how their kings were taken out of power. Yeah, but this ain't that though. You know what I mean? Like I get it, but when you're saying that you live in a dictatorship and you live under the rule of a evil monster who wants to kill you and everybody who you agree with, and then you're just like out here freely just like throwing block parties and shit and just having a good time, and then you do it for 1 day and just go home and just like, all right, we did it. It's like tyranny's not a thing that just lasts a day. You can't schedule tyranny and then be like, all right, we're gonna meet up on this 1 day and then we're all gonna all just go back to our normal lives like nothing happened the next day. Like where's the sense of urgency? Like if you're really fearing for your life, if you truly feel like that the person who's running the country is an evil dictator who's out to kill you and everybody you love, you can't just schedule 1 day out of the entire 9 months this dude has been president. It's just like, all right, we're gonna all meet, we're gonna throw a little party, and then we're gonna go home and just chill. Like that's like you lose. I, I'm getting nothing but merch ads for that dumb frog. Wait, what are we talking about? Are there ads on this thing? But yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of performative. Seems kind of performative to me. But a lot of the maybe third impeachment will be the charm. Yeah, there you go. Third time's the charm. Uh which is kind of funny because like there's a lot of talk about like misuse of the government and stuff like that or whatever. And they literally did everything they possibly could to take out Trump. Like literally everything, almost anything you could have done. They used every leg of the law. They tried to pin almost every possible atrocity on this dude possible. And it like it none of it really stuck or worked at all. And now that Trump is back in office and is using all the same apparatuses and stuff that they used in order to try to take him out, they're just like, you know, we really don't think that it's healthy to do all the things that we did. You know, like maybe Trump should be the bigger person and not try to imitate all of the things that we did trying to take him out. Because like when we did it, it was justified, but it's not so nice when it's happening to us. And I'm just like, yeah, that's convenient. Like that's awfully convenient. I don't get it though, because they really didn't have a problem with it before. Like we're only the first year into Trump's presidency, and we've already had two assassination attempts, just two so far. We still got 3 more years, so it should be very interesting this next couple years. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do find it ironic that the people who are he keeps saying that the temperature needs to be shut down are the same people standing out with signs saying that we need to kill the people, the president, and also kill his family and kill everybody associated with them. And they're just like, political murder's not really bad as long as it's against the right people. And I'm just like, I mean, that's definitely a take. That's definitely a take. And the thing is, they pretend like they don't understand the concept that if you tell somebody we have a fascist dictator who is in office who is going to take all of your rights, he's going to murder your families, he's going to deport you and your people, he's going to destroy democracy, he's going to tear this country apart, and there will be nothing but flames and death and destruction all over the country. That's not going to result in people being like, maybe we should stop this dude by any means necessary. Because whenever something happens like that, whenever like an assassination attempt happens, they're like, gasp, we don't know how this happened. It must be the guys who we keep saying are evil. It's their fault. Like, they're the ones that are doing the thing. It's like it's not us saying that they're literally the devil incarnate and they're gonna sneak into your house and kill and molest your children. That ain't doing it at all. That's not affecting people at all. What's really affecting them, though, are the people like telling us not to say that type of stuff. Those guys, they're the real issue. And I'm just like, come on, man. You scare people like that, what do you think the result's gonna be? People believe that shit. Like, you should never underestimate the ignorance of the common population. Like, most of these people, and it's not the type of, I'm not using ignorance in a negative connotation like these people are dumb. But a lot of people have shit going on in their lives. They got a lot of stuff going on. They don't be worried about what's going on in the government and the military and all that stuff. Like, they got their own problems. So they're really genuinely just not, they just don't know. So all they have, they're in their car, they're going to work, they hear stuff on the radio, maybe they're in a bar and the news is on the TV, so they're seeing it on the TV, but they only see what they see in that moment. They only know what they're told at that moment. So, it's a level of ignorance that is problematic because these people react to a lot of sensationalizing and stuff like that or whatever, but it's also like, I wouldn't say inherently malicious because these people are just living their lives, man. Oh, excuse me. People will listen to the president and Trump will lead them to do bad things. That's what I'm not comfortable with. I mean, sure, people will listen to anybody who has influence for the most part, but the problem is there's a lot of rhetoric of people saying that Trump is telling people to do things that Trump is not telling people to do. They're just making the shit up. Like, they're making it up. They're saying that he's saying something that he's not. Like, for example, I was talking to somebody recently who's like, "Well, how do you get over the fact that Trump never denounced white supremacists? Like, don't you think if the president of the United States won't denounce white supremacy, that he'll be able to, influence people to?" And I'm like, "But he has, like, on several occasions." And they're like, "I've never seen it." I'm like, "Yeah, because the media cuts it out. Just go look it up." And they're like, I don't believe you. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to believe me. Don't believe anything I tell you. Like, I'm not telling you to believe what I'm saying. I'm telling you to go look yourself because it's available. It's available and it's out there for you to look. But if you just pay attention to what the media shows you, you're going to see what they show you, and that's it. And I've had several people just go look, just go do the research yourself. And then there's like 30 clips of Donald Trump explicitly saying, I denounce white supremacists. In like 30 different instances on like 30 different occasions, and then the same speeches they showed you where they said he didn't denounce it, he did it like literally 2 seconds later, and they just cut it out. And I'm just like, how hard was that? All you had to do was go look. Like, if he didn't, he didn't. And that would be a thing. Like, if he didn't, you could say he didn't. I could show you the clip to say he didn't, and he didn't. It would just be a fact, but it's a lie. And you believed it because somebody told you to believe it. But I'm just saying, do your own research. Just look it up. He did send a mob to Capitol Hill. Yeah, he did. He told them to go there, and when he sent them there, he said, go peacefully, don't be violent. That's what he said to those people. I saw the clip. I watched it. He sent them to go there and protest, which you are allowed to do. And he explicitly told them to be peaceful, which was his job to do. Like, that's what he was supposed to do, and he did it. The media told you that he didn't, but it's out there. If you go look it up, it's out there. That's what he said. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Can you give examples of what exactly? Sorry, I've been rambling for a while. Welcome to the stream, by the way. He told them to fight like hell. So what? The Democrats tell people to, dude, have you been watching the No Kings rally? That's what they've been saying all day. The entire No Kings rally was, we need to fight back. We need to fight like hell. We need to fight like that. That rhetoric is used by literally any person who's protesting or fighting against anything. If that is your baseline for violence, then you have to believe that telling people that somebody is a Nazi that's going to come and kill and murder your family and take away all your rights is an incitement to violence, right? Like, you can't think somebody saying, hey, we need to fight like hell for the things we believe in. You're like, oh my God, that's so horrible. But then you hear somebody call somebody a fascist and say that they're going to kill you and all of your family members. You're like, oh no, that's cool. That's okay to say. Like, people aren't going to respond to that, but they will respond to you saying fight for what you believe in. Like, that's ridiculous. Those standards are way too different. Why didn't the current sitting president at the time send the National Guard? He told Nancy Pelosi to do that. She denied him. He called Nancy Pelosi and told her to send the guard, and she said no because she felt it wasn't necessary. That was her job to initiate that. He called the person who was supposed to initiate it, and she literally said it's not necessary. She said it herself. That came out of her mouth. I didn't just make that up. She said it. That's what she said. Why would he feel like it was necessary? Think about it. If Trump just did a speech, he just did a speech. He had a whole bunch of people there. He did a speech telling people about, what he thought or whatever. And then he told them, go to the Capitol, go peacefully or whatever, like, protest for what you believe in. If that was his goal and his intentions, then why would sending the Marines be necessary? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Unless you're planning on something to happen, there's no reason to do that. Yes, a handful of people were tried to break into some parts of the Capitol, and a lot of people were simply just let in. There's videos of Capitol Police standing at the door, opening the door to allow people to just walk into the place. Like, there was some people who were being aggressive, but that happens at every event. At the No Kings thing, there was people doing stuff and being violent or whatever and trying to break down stuff or attack the police. But, like I said, they're not representative of the whole group. It was a protest that got out of hand, just like most protests do. And 2025. Why didn't Hillary accept that she lost? If you ask Hillary Clinton to this day, she still says that the Russians hacked the presidency and won Donald Trump the presidency. She still says that he didn't win fair and square. And a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of Democrats still believe that to be true. They still believe that Russians hacked the election and won Donald Trump the presidency. But nobody's complaining about that. It don't matter if she conceded if she's still walking around to this day saying that he cheated to win. Like, it still doesn't matter. And even if you say, like, well, Trump didn't concede, he still wasn't the president. He still stepped down and he still passed over the office to the person who was next in line. So it's like, I'm not defending January 6th. Any act of crazy violence that happens with a large group of people is that results in violence is indefensible. It doesn't matter who's doing it. But what I'm saying is, do you have that same energy for the George Floyd riots? Do you have the same energy for all the Black Lives Matter stuff? Do you have the same energy for those people who stormed the Capitol just recently, when all those women just went down there and stormed the Capitol or whatever? Like, Is it specifically just the Trump thing, or are you consistent in your views? It was a few people. There was thousands of people there. The amount of people that were there couldn't even fit inside of the Capitol building. You're saying that every single human being that went there that day stormed the Capitol. That's ridiculous. We seen it with our own eyes. I seen the video clip. 100% of those people were not in that building. 90% of them were outside, and there was a handful of people who were inside. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not hypocritical. It's only hypocritical if you're biased and you only see things in the way that you want to see it. And that's fine. You can be. That's totally fine, but I'm not going to validate your bias. Like that's not going to happen, you know. I'm looking at the whole picture. You're staring at a corner of it. And that's totally fine. You are 100% within your rights to do that. That's totally fine, but I'm looking at the entire picture. It doesn't matter who sent them there. All the Democrats, all these Democratic protests and stuff that are being organized by Democrats, that are being paid for by Democrats or whatever, they're sending people there, and people are being violent at those too. So what do you say to that? I didn't say I'm unbiased. I'm talking about your bias right now. We can talk about my bias too. I have my own biases that I'm more than happy to agree with. Oop, I got wrecked. I got wrecked. I didn't know you can do short lives. Yes, you can. You can do short lives. I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I figured it out, so it's working now. They have nothing to say to that because they agree with it. Exactly. And like I said, here's the thing. It's really easy for me to say that January 6th was bad, that those riots and the stuff that happened was bad, and that the bad actors who did the stuff that they did are bad people and they need to be held accountable. But whenever we talk about the other side and all the other stuff that happens, then they're just like, oh, I don't have an opinion on that. I don't have anything to say about that. Oh, people should be able to protest however they want. Or, don't expect protests to be peaceful because, that's the revolution isn't a peaceful thing. Like, they got all kinds of excuses. I can easily say that January 6th was a travesty that shouldn't have happened. Easily. It don't hurt my ego at all to say that. I'm just saying, when it comes to painting the picture of what actually happened versus what people are fantasizing happened, it's a completely different situation. It is absolutely possible for both to be true. And no, I am not accusing specifically you of saying what I'm saying right now. I'm talking generally. So if anybody in this chat is taking anything I say as a personal attack on them specifically, please don't. I'm generalizing, but I'm not specifically calling anybody out. Everybody has nuanced opinions. I don't think that anybody on one side holds a group of opinions versus somebody else. I'm sure you have your own nuanced opinions about what you think about all kinds of things. So don't take it that way. I'm not that's not my intent here, because I don't know you. So I can't tell you what your beliefs or what you think is. I'm only responding to what people are saying to me directly. When it comes to the left and the right, they watch the same screen and see two different movies. That's true. That is true. And once again, that's tied to bias. That's tied to people's bias. People are going to see what they want to see. Um, that is what it is. I'm susceptible to it. Who's funding the Democrats? You can go look right now. If you want to go look who's funding the No Kings thing, they have a curated list telling you everybody who is included in funding the No Kings stuff. You can go and look at the Antifa riots and stuff or whatever. You can see who's funding those. Like, they don't hide it. It's information that's available to you. And a lot of these are multi-million and billion-dollar industries and groups, which is kind of hilarious because these people are like, no kings. We got to take down the millionaires and billionaires. I'm like, your literal march, your No Kings movement is literally backed by millionaires and billionaires. Like, they are literally paying for it and funding it. So that's kind of weird that You're standing against them, and they're calling this a grassroots movement. And I'm like, how is it a grassroots movement when you have literal political officials who are orchestrating it? You have million and billion-dollar corporations who are funding it. I'm like, that's not grassroots. Y'all got a time limit. They have a protest with a schedule. We're going to meet from 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and then we're gonna all disperse at the same time. I'm like, that's an organized movement. That's not like a protest is chaotic. It's a whole bunch of people from a whole bunch of different places. They all show up at different times. They all leave at different times. Like, you don't expect that kind of like, and they had like a whole bunch of pre-made signs. These people have an Amazon wish list where people can go and fund and buy all the stuff that they need. Like, that's that's insane. That's not like grassroots. That's not something you can say that's organic, where a bunch of like-minded people are just showing up. That's a paid for funded event. Yes, our current president and his cabinet are billionaires. That's true. But when Kamala was running against him, she had 98% of all the billionaires backing her, and Trump had Elon Musk. Kamala had Facebook, she had Instagram, she had all the tech companies, she had Amazon, like all these places completely backing her. She's like, I'm gonna take down the billionaires, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna take us down. We all fully support you. Like, so that's a moot argument. Anybody who's bringing up the fact that Kamala had millionaires or Trump had billionaires backing them up, it's all bullshit, because all of them do. That it's a pointless argument to be made, because all of them do. All the politicians do. Like, there's no, you can't use that against one side or the other, because Trump was backed by millionaires and billionaires. Biden was backed by millionaires and billionaires. Kamala was backed by millionaires and billionaires. Obama was backed by millionaires and billionaires. Like, it's not a good argument. They're all in their pockets. Thank you, Duck Dog. It's the right of the people to peacefully assemble. No looting, burning, or violence. Exactly. And there's a fundamental difference. Kamala was speaking to a electorate who reads at a third grade level. That's why Trump won. I mean, that's a part of it, sure. Look, my general opinion is all this race war, this black versus white, man versus woman, gay versus straight, all this stuff, it's all a smokescreen. At the end of the day, what it's always been, from the days of slavery all the way till today, it has always been a class war. It has been the rich versus the poor. It has been the have versus the have-nots. And the goal is for all these rich people to stay rich. They need to make sure they constantly distract everybody below a certain pay grade. They need to distract them with all the things that we constantly fight with each other about. And they force us to do that. Well, they don't. No, that's wrong. They don't force us to do anything. We fall for the traps that they lay to make us do this. So, for example, when it comes to differences between men and women, we got all these people who are making millions and millions of dollars, who live in these completely different universes, talking about relationships and how men are supposed to be and how women are supposed to be. And they're all profiting off of the fact that we're fighting with each other on an argument and a concept that has nothing to even do with us. These people are in a completely different world than us. They're super wealthy. They live lifestyles that we could never even imagine. And these people are trying to tell you, with 7 divorces, what a real man is supposed to be, or what a real relationship is supposed to be, or what a real marriage is supposed to be. These people got like 18 kids by like 14 different people. They rich as hell, ain't got no problems. They ain't worried about nothing. Child support means nothing to them because they make unbelievable amounts of money. And they're trying to tell you, the poor people, like how y'all are supposed to interact with each other. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And people just listen and they eat it up because, people like drama. They like, they like the, I don't even know if they really like the fighting and the infighting or whatever, but it's so easy to get pulled into it, in my opinion. Me want Honeycrisp? No, me want honeycomb. How you fuck that up, man? Not that it's wrong, but I think it's more complex. Well, here's the thing. The problem is most of the situations that we're talking about and that we're discussing and that we're facing in society are complicated situations. And most people don't have time for that shit. They just don't. Like, people are trying to survive. They don't have time for it. In order to really educate yourself and to really understand what's happening on both sides of the spectrum, politically and all that stuff, like, you have to put in the work. Like, you have to sit down, you have to take time and do your research, and most people just don't have time for it. And that's why when I use the word ignorance, I'm not using it in a negative connotation. Like, I'm not trying to degrade or demean people by pointing out their ignorance. I'm trying to say that they just don't know. They're ill informed. Sugar, money is power. Money is power everywhere. Even in the most socialist place you could possibly think of, money is power. Don't let anybody fool you that, like, these socialist places or these places that aren't necessarily capitalist societies. Don't let them fool you into believing that money is not the determining factor for all these places. Money rules the world. Money rules the world. Period. It is the driving factor for so many things in so many different places. Later, Blizzard. Have a good one. Money only allows you to buy things, and you can't buy power when it's not for sale. Well, that's the problem, though. It's always for sale. You just got to know where to buy it from. Money can absolutely buy you power if you know where to get it from. Lobbying is US politics for sale. I mean, basically, you're definitely not wrong about that. Like, I think I think that the issues and stuff that we face as a society are very complex, like I said before. And it is a kind of, it's an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different problems kind of mixed together, and you can't really point one finger to any given direction and just say it's exclusively X, Y, or Z. But I think some of the solutions in order to fix this are rather simple. For example, if a lot of people, instead of hearing information that conflicts with their view, or just hearing some information that does confirm their biases, instead of just being like, oh, I heard some information that I agree with, so it's automatically true. I think I think people need to try to step away from that. And I think there needs to be a baseline level of skepticism for literally anything you hear from literally anybody, even people you trust. That includes me right now during this live stream, because there's far too many people out here who just hear something and they're just like, well, that sounds like something I agree with, so it must be real. And I'm just like, bro, how do you operate like that? That is not how you should go about life. Money is not evil. Well, just like, yeah, money itself is not inherently evil, just like people say, like, oh, we got to get rid of all the guns, and people say, well, guns kill people. I mean, people kill people, not guns kill people, or whatever. Like, if you lay a gun on the table, it's just going to sit there for all of eternity until some person picks it up and uses it. That gun will never ever hurt anybody until somebody picks it up and pulls the trigger. So, like, even though something like a gun can be used for, obviously it's made for that purpose, left on its own, it can't do anything until somebody picks it up and uses it. It's just a thing. It's just a tool. It's the nature of most people. Finding new information that conflicts with their views makes them uncomfortable, so they don't seek it. Cognitive dissonance is something some people can't withstand. Yeah, I agree. What's up, baby?
Uh,
Uh-oh, you got another one?
oh, being another one again.
Here, I found the clippers. They're right here, baby.
Yeah, one,
Here, I got it.
I get one,
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Got it.
That's good.
All right, thank you. All done?
Yeah. So tell me,
Your tummy hurts?
yeah, which one for hungry?
You want a snack? I think the goblin wants a snack. Hold on. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Sorry about that. I am back. Okay, so back to what you were saying. Wasn't it just yesterday that your daughter was born? My daughter is 6 now, man. Time flies, don't it? Some of y'all been watching me for like 10 years, man. Um, so what you were saying about the people finding new information that conflicts with their views, yeah, I totally get that. That is 100% true, and even I'm guilty of that. Any time that I feel particularly strongly about something and I happen to see something that goes against what I believe, yeah, I get frustrated, I get agitated. Um and I often get into the point to where like I don't want to see this. You know what I mean? But that usually is my motivation to look into it deeper and to find more answers, because I know if I'm feeling that way, that means that I'm rejecting what's in front of me. And usually that is me rejecting what I'm seeing based off of my own personal biases. So at that point, I'm like, okay, let me look into this further and see if there's more to it than this, because I'm getting like a visceral rejection to this information. And it's based on my own, how I personally feel about it and not any type of facts. And that compels me to go look personally. And I know not everybody thinks like that. Um, but that's the way that I at least try to operate on the regular basis when I can. It's not always easy or convenient for me to look stuff up all the time, but it'd be like that. I think there are two major factions in America who will never coexist again because they have opposing worldviews. Well, that's true, but I think that's always been true. I think there have always been these fringes that are like in an internal war. You know what I mean? That will never come to a consensus ever. They will always exist, and they will always be pulling people to these fringes and kind of pushing the pendulum further one way or the other. Because you guys know the pendulum analogy, where it's just like, the pendulum swings one way and then it eventually swings back the other way, and it's never just like one side or the other for too long. But the key and the important thing is for both parties, whether it be left or right, to recognize and do something about those fringes when they see them, because I think that's the biggest issue is, and I don't see this problem as much on the right as I do on the left, because whenever somebody on the right typically says something, just extra cringy or extra off the wall, you can find a lot of Republican leaders are just like, yeah, no, we don't agree with that, but but I find it hard to find a lot of times on the left, when somebody is saying something particularly egregious, pushback from the left. For example, the best example is if you look at the No Kings rally, there were a lot of people there who were there to peacefully protest, and these people were standing right next to people who had signs of like Donald Trump being beheaded, and they're just like, yeah, we're all here to support the same thing, and I'm just like, you're there peacefully, but this person is literally advocating killing the president. And I know y'all are there to fight for the same cause, but that doesn't make you uncomfortable at all. Like you can stand next to that person and see that and have nothing to say about it. Because if I was at a Trump rally or something like that and somebody had a picture of, you know, somebody cutting off Kamala's head, I'd be like, bro, put that shit away. Like that's not cool. Like we don't, that's not what I'm here to support. And I'm not about it. Like obviously there's free speech, but there's a difference between free speech and like showing the political candidate getting beheaded. Like that's not what I'm here to stand for. And I know some people might think that that's counterproductive. Like, oh, but you're going against your own people. Like, you aren't my people if you believe in political murder. Like, I'm sorry, I don't consider you my people. That's not how that works. Like, just because we're there to fight for the same cause, don't make us just like on the same team by default. That's not how that works. If you're advocating for political murder, me and you aren't the same. We ain't the same. I've seen both cringy. I've seen both MAGA and liberals be snowflakes and super. Absolutely, 100%, 100%. And I think that it makes sense for people to call out the cringe on both sides, but most people don't. They will call out the cringe on the opposition, and then when they see the cringe happen on their side, they'll either default to pretending like they didn't see it and just pretend it doesn't exist, or they'll make excuses for it. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm gonna call it like it is. If I see you being a fucking piece of shit and you're advocating for murder, or you're saying some crazy stuff, you know, some crazy off the wall, borderline illegal shit, like I don't support you, and I'm not about to. And if you're doing it in my vicinity where I can see it, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you out because that's that. I don't want you representing me. I don't want, if I'm standing next to a person holding a sign that advocates for political murder and I'm standing next to you, I don't want people looking at both of us and being like, look at those assholes. Like that's not what I want to see. Like either I'm getting away from you or I'm gonna say something to you, because that's unacceptable. Like I don't agree with that stuff, and I'm not about to stand here and have you representing this group of people here. Like that's crazy. Hey Jen. So I don't think that type of stuff is acceptable. Like I don't find that type of behavior, uh regardless of who's doing it. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. Uh you know, just like those kids, those what damn, what were they called? The conservative kids, conservative first or whatever. Like they were in that group chat saying all kinds of vile shit in there or whatever. And a lot of people passed it off as like, oh, they're just joking and stuff like that. And to be honest, like I probably agree. They were probably just trolling and talking shit. They were in a private group with their friends or whatever. Does that make it acceptable? No. You got like they said all that stuff with confidence that nobody would see it, but that doesn't make it better for some reason. Now, I will concede that a lot of people say things in the company of people that they trust that they don't think other people will see. Plenty of people do that, but that's not an excuse. Like that doesn't like save you from that rhetoric. Like you said that shit. Those were your words, so you're gonna have to live with it. So when people were saying like, oh, they're losing their jobs and they're losing opportunities and stuff, and I'm like, well, fuck around and find out. Like, I mean, that's too bad. Maybe you shouldn't say shit like that. And I don't believe in censorship, but I do believe in consequences. What's up, Kay? As long as those consequences aren't initiated by the government. But, you know, like I said, people have a consistency issue. Yes, freedom of speech, absolutely. But once again, like I said, if it's not the government taking away your freedom of speech, if it's not, you know, then It's a little bit of a different situation. You are entitled to say whatever you want, but you know, there can be consequences to that. That's just how it works. That's the reality of the world. Like that's not even like some type of leftist bullshit or nothing like that. Like that's just simply the way it goes. Too much cancel culture. I agree. I agree that there's far too much cancel culture, but I do agree that some people need to fuck around and find out. You know, and that goes so far as like, for example, if you walk up to like some bodybuilder and you say you call him a bitch or something, that the possible outcomes of that is that bodybuilder can ignore you and go on about his day. He could lose his mind and beat the shit out of you. You know, like anything could happen as a result of that. It was your freedom to say those words, and there are consequences to come. But a lot of people stop there, and that's my problem. I take it even further. So if you call that dude a bitch and he beats the shit out of you, you got the consequences for what you said from that dude, and now he needs to receive the consequences for his actions. You know what I mean? Like I don't just stop at the initial thing. It's like, okay, you called him a bitch and he beat your ass. Sucks to be you. But he also assaulted you. So now he gets to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like it's a everybody gets the consequences of their actions. Like I don't just stop at the initial transaction. Because sure, you shouldn't have said that to him and that was wrong, but he didn't have a right to beat your ass because of it. He can get upset and call you a bitch back, but he broke the law by fucking assaulting you. So it really just comes down to accountability, like, and that's really what the overall conversation is about at the end of the day. Is people just don't like accountability. Like people are allergic. People are allergic to accountability. They do not want to take responsibility for their actions. Even being like it was an edgy chat, it went too far. Like these people were saying some off the wall stuff.
All done.
All done with your apple? Was it good?
Bye bye.
I love you. What's up, kitchen? Yeah, so, I think we have an accountability problem in America more than anything else. People do not want to be responsible for the things that they say and do. She is indeed a perfect princess. She's so cute. Even hockey has 2 minutes for instigating. Yes, it does. People have fun, and that can go too far. We still take accountability for our sillies. It's just adulthood. Well, yeah, exactly. And two, like the Nazi stuff in particular, like because they were saying some like Nazi stuff, like blah blah blah. I genuinely believe that was just a reaction to, obviously the overall narrative that these people are Nazis and they're just like leaning into the joke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that these people were literally like, oh yeah, I can't wait to put these people in gas chambers. Like, I think it's disingenuous to assume that they were really like, yes, I really want to do these things. Because it came off as a joke. The way it was said was like it was very sarcastic and like, yeah, because, we're apparently Nazis. You know what I mean? And that could be being too charitable, but like I spent a majority of my childhood in Call of Duty lobbies, and I will tell y'all right now that I have said some ungodly shit. I have been responsible for some ungodly words coming out of my mouth in Call of Duty lobbies. I'm gonna tell you right now. Man, oh man. And if they ever got out, I would be hyper canceled. It don't matter how black I am. This melanin will mean nothing. Because motherfuckers say some crazy stuff to me in those chats, and I was unfiltered. That's just, in an environment like that, you know, people tend to say stuff that they normally wouldn't say or mean. When you met me, Country and Chef on PSK, oh my god, dude, we used to, man, we used to be menaces on Call of Duty. Oh my god, it was crazy. So that's why, like, you know, a lot of people wanted me to take it like super serious and be like, oh no, like we need to, somebody needs to do something about this. It's like, no, it's not that deep. Like, these people were saying stuff in confidence with their friends. They were being little edgy boys or whatever. They didn't think it was going to get out, but it did, and consequences are coming for them. They're gonna have to suffer the consequences of their actions, and it just is what it is. And people are like, oh, you should be more concerned about it. I'm like, I'm not really more concerned about that. Am I more concerned about a bunch of edgy boys saying some edgy shit in a private chat that they are in confidence that nobody else is going to see? Or am I more concerned about some white lady standing on the street holding up a sign and a picture with words on it that says killing political opponents is fun? You know what I mean? Like, which one concerns me more? The latter. The latter concerns me more because she's standing in public, she's holding up a sign advocating for killing her political opponents, and everybody around her is okay with it. That's problematic to me. That shit scares me. That's what scares the fuck out of me. Fucking private chats with edgy boys, that shit don't bother me much. Like, it's something that happened, and I will acknowledge that it sucks and it's wrong, but it's not comparable. They had to scan through pages just to get that low yield. Well, that's also another thing too, where it's like, for the amount of people involved and the amount of stuff that they found, it really seems like I was kind of like, oh, that's it, you know? Like, when I saw it, I was like, I mean, the stuff they said is bad, but that's all you found? I feel like it could have been much worse. But once again, like, I don't want to dismiss it. I don't want to, like, you know, just hand wave it as if it's not a thing of note, but like, come on. And the worst part about the scenario that I named of the people like with the signs and stuff is what these people don't understand is whenever you make an appeal to strip people of their rights, you are making an appeal to strip yourself of your rights. Like, any appeal, any and every appeal that you make to take away somebody else's rights is a direct appeal to take away your own. And they don't understand that because they just assume, like, well, I'm a good guy though. Like, I'm the good person, so even if I say that these people shouldn't be able to speak, I should always be able to speak because I'm just the ultimate good. Like, it would never happen to me. Like, nobody would ever silence me because everything I do and say is good. So why would anybody ever want to silence my words? They're all right and perfect. And I'm just like, that's not how that works, man. The moment you look a person in the face and say, I feel like you should die for your opinions, then that person is looking at you like the feeling's mutual. So who's going to pull the trigger first? Is it going to be me or you? And that's how we get into these crazy, volatile, and hostile situations that spiral out of control because the people who are hearing people say these things are hand waving it. Like, they're acting like it's just not a big deal. People die every day for their opinions. Yeah, that's true. But that don't mean that they should. That doesn't mean that that's supposed to be the natural order of things. It's an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in, but we can't just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like, it's because I mean, if we're just gonna leave it like that, then what's the problem? Like, why are people complaining? There shouldn't be an issue then. You hear about somebody getting shot in the face because they said the wrong thing, then everybody should be like, well, you know, whatever. The left already pulled the trigger first. I mean, there have been several instances of political violence, left and right, throughout the history of America. So we could go all day about who did it first. I do know that in this modern day time, in our lifetime, political murder has never really been a thing for us. Like in our generation, I've never experienced somebody like just being assassinated like that in my lifetime. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, then absolutely, like, he who cast the first stone, like we didn't kill anybody we disagreed with. And that's where the argument with about narrative comes in, where people are not really buying that this whole both sides needs to turn down the temperature thing. Like, that shit really ain't flying with a lot of people, because they're like, dude, we're not murdering people who we disagree with. We're calling them stupid. We're laughing at them. We're pointing fingers at them. We're telling them that they're idiots, but we're not killing them. Like, that's something we're not doing. But people who share my views are dying. They're being murdered for their opinions. And I'm just supposed to be okay with that? Not okay with that at all. Everyone needs to be held accountable across the board, 100%. 100,000%. Once the one side started using the rules against the other side, then it becomes fascism. And that's like the crux of what we're living in right now. That's what you see on CNN with the media, because they're like, Donald Trump's using the government to do this, and Donald Trump's using the government to do that. And I'm like, Obama had 8 years, Biden had 4 years. Both parties used the government in atrocious ways that a lot of people thought were unacceptable, and y'all were totally fine with that then. And now all of a sudden, Donald Trump is using the very same mechanisms put in place for the president to use that countless presidents have used. And now they're like, all these things that every other president had access to, that every other president used at their discretion, is now evil because the person who we don't like gets to use them. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, now suddenly it's a problem. And it's like, Trump is going after his political opponents. I'm like, they dragged Trump through courts for like 5 straight years. Tried to put all kinds of crazy charges on him that nobody else has ever been charged with. They tried to impeach him twice. They tried to assassinate him twice. I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, you don't expect this dude to be just a little bit jaded? They completely destroyed his legacy. Trump was a social icon in almost every circle. Oprah loved him. All these other celebrities had him on TV. Rappers used to rap about him or whatever. He got awards from social and political rights movements or whatever. This dude did a whole bunch of philanthropy work. Like, he was super popular. And the moment he started running as a Republican, all of a sudden, he's a Nazi, rapist, racist who hates black people. And I'm just like, how did that happen? To be fair, he's a felon. That's a bullshit argument, man. That's a bullshit argument. Dude got charged for one felony for some misplaced, for some mislabeled money that he was supposed to have transferred a certain way that he didn't. And they charged him 34 fucking times for that one thing. And they're like, he's got 34 felonies. I'm like, it's the same fucking charge. And it's a financial charge. Do you know how many politicians right now have financial charges, like financial felonious charges? You'd be surprised. Almost most of them do. Like, but it's Trump now, so it's like, but it's more significant because it's the person I don't like. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because like there's people who you do like who probably have pending felonious financial charges. Like, just simply using the word felony doesn't really mean anything if we're not going to talk about the nature of the felony. Dude wrote down a business transaction that wasn't accurate. That was the felony. Oh no. Like, people do that shit all the time. Like it's just like that. Telling me that a politician did some shady financial shit does nothing for me. It's just like, oh, who? Well, it's another day that ends in Y. Like, I am shocked. that's that's what happens. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing that he did it. Like, it's whatever. But like, there's so many bigger issues that Trump has, so many other problems that this man has as just a human being and an individual that I would be way more concerned with. It's a misdemeanor that they raised into a felony, and that's another thing too. The thing that he was supposed to be charged for is a thing that no other person has ever been charged for. It was basically a new thing that they made up specifically and exclusively for him. I'm like, why would you even go through that much effort? That part alone is crazy in itself. Not only that, we're talking about the censorship thing, and everybody's talking about, oh, Donald Trump is censoring his political opponents. I'm like, did y'all forget that Donald Trump himself was banned from almost every social media in existence for like a year? Dude was banned from all social media. The literal leader of the free world. The president of the United States, one of the single most powerful human beings on earth, was banned from every social media in existence on trumped up bullshit charges that they just made up. They were just like, yeah, we're gonna justify banning the president of the United States from every social media, and people were like, cool, I'm totally fine with that. Like, how do you not take issue with that? That's insane. And then countless people, Facebook, YouTube, all these companies came out and said that Biden directly advised the authorities to come after these social media companies to make sure that they silence anybody who spoke out against the government and what was going on at the time with COVID. That is the most purest form of political censorship ever. This ain't a case of just like somebody standing in front of your sign at a rally and blocking you out. That's not that kind of censorship. We're talking about actual government initiated censorship. Biden put out direct orders to these social media companies and said, you are to silence anybody who is not pushing the narrative that we find to be acceptable. And once again, everybody who has a problem with this, all of a sudden, they didn't take issue with that at all. It's crazy. And that's the part that gets me. It's like, I can be consistent and I can tell you when something is wrong regardless of who's doing it. But you can't ignore blatant government censorship for years. And not only ignore it, it's not like these people ignored it and didn't know what was happening and just were ignorant. They 100% supported it. They 100% supported it. And now they're just like, oh no, censorship is now wrong again because it's happening to us instead. And I'm like, that's not how that works. You are either for censorship or you're against it. It does not only become a problem when it's happening to you. That's not how that works. Which the Supreme Court told him he wasn't allowed to block anyone from. The social media platform circumvented the court's will. I think I do remember something about that. They were saying like Trump wasn't allowed to block people on social media or whatever. I have to look more into that because I don't really know. I don't really know enough about that particular situation. Um, but I do recall hearing something about that, about Trump like blocking people or whatever. Which I kind of don't like. I don't really get it. I don't really understand what that ruling was about, because it's not like blocking somebody on social media stops them from being able to be seen on social media. It just stops you from being able to see them. I have to look into it myself so I can get some information on it. I am curious about that. Thank you for bringing that up because I don't. I remember hearing something about it, but I don't. I don't remember the details completely of what happened specifically with that situation. Yeah, but if you guys saw my video earlier, I was talking about the I was talking about basically just kind of like deportations and stuff that's going on with that or whatever. But there was a story about some deportation enforcement officers killing a dog after searching this house or whatever, which brought up a conversation about accountability when it comes to these companies and stuff or these agencies, because they definitely need to be getting held accountable for their actions and not putting people in situations like this because that's completely unacceptable. But I got another video coming out actually in about 30 minutes. I think I scheduled it to come out in like 30 minutes explaining why I support the ICE raids and the stuff that's going on and why we can't look at this situation as a conventional situation. Yeah, as like your standard baseline uh border enforcement because the situation is a lot different now than it was back then. Like things are much different, and border control has a lot more to deal with than they did previously. The argument was something to the effect of because he's a politician in the public, he has a right to. The argument was something to the effect of because he's a politician, the public has a right to address him. But wouldn't that apply to every politician though? That's the part that confused me because politicians are no stranger, especially left-wing politicians. They are no stranger to blocking people online. There's a ton of people I know who are blocked by like AOC and a whole bunch of other people or whatever. So like was that something that they specifically decided for the president of the United States or was that something that was a kind of a blanket uh rule set for politicians in general? That's the part that I'm confused about. Who would have to sue random? Sorry, I've been yapping for a while, so I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping up with the chat. What's going on? Yeah, I don't think there's any I don't think there's any issue holding ICE and these other enforcement agencies accountable for because obviously their standards need to be higher and they need to be dealing with these people in these delicate situations significantly better than they tend to in some situations. Um, but then, what like I said before, we also have to acknowledge the fact that things are not the same as they were back then. Because the people who got blocked by other politicians, they would have to sue. Okay, so that is an established thing. Because that part I'm ignorant about that. I really genuinely just don't know. So I don't want to say anything definitive about it because I'm honestly not in the position to do so because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just casually. It is a precedent, but suing is expensive. I would imagine so. I would imagine so. That's interesting though. Does this stream really only have one like? There's no way. There's been people cycling in and out of here this whole time. There's no way there's only one like on this stream. Okay, no. I just had to refresh the page. I was about to say, what is happening? Okay. False alarm. Sorry, I just the page didn't refresh. Like usually the likes will refresh itself, but it didn't happen, so thanks for the likes, guys, and thanks for hanging out. Like I do want to, I would like to do these streams a bit more often, where we're just talking. You know what I mean? Like I just like shooting the shit, talking about some of the stuff that I be talking about, because a lot of this stuff really be stressing me out, and I just need to be getting it off my chest. So that's why I kind of started to make the shorts or whatever, just to kind of get my thoughts out there and just get it out of my system. You know what I mean? So. Um, I would I would really enjoy doing these more often if people are willing to come and hang out. Like hearing other opinions on it, seeing where everybody's at, just kind of talking about this stuff in a very respectful and not rude and people just fighting or arguing or whatever, but like actually having a discussion I think is really good and healthy. Especially considering how hostile the how hostile it can be online, man. Some people just be getting, because they truly think that the people they disagree with are their enemies. Like they like, and not just like in a lighthearted kind of like I disagree with this person, type of way, where it's just that like I don't agree with that person, so I don't like them, which is a totally fine stance to take, but it's more so the idea of like I don't agree with this person, therefore this person is evil and something horrible should happen to them as a result. Like that's where I'm just like, okay, yeah, no. We are not on the same page at that point. What kind of lawnmower do I have? I don't have a lawnmower. I live in an apartment. I'd like to be in a house, but that is not in the stars right now because I am a broke ass bitch. There's a low-key civil war going on the online spaces. Yeah, but I don't know. I think we should try to not. Well, I don't know. It's hard to really gauge because a part of me wants to be like, don't take that stuff too seriously because a lot of these people are really just talking shit. But you can't really rely on that because of the fact that like now that political murder is on the table, which I hate to even like the fact that that's even uh, the fact that that's even something that I can say right now is disgusting. I fucking hate it. I hate the fact that we've gotten to this point. But like now that that's like on the table, it's a little more difficult to just hand wave some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Does the new packaging for your spices have a shaker top? Yes. Actually, hold on. Since you brought it up, I wasn't gonna shield this stream, but now I'm gonna. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so these are the new bottles that my spice blends are in now. And they do have a shaker top. There's the large open part where it's just like open and you can pour it however, and then it's the part with the holes in it or whatever. And this is the new design for my spice blends for people who haven't seen them yet. I know it's hard to kind of see. I really like the design and how it came out. I don't know if you guys can see there should be like a little shop thing below my videos and stuff for my spice blends or whatever, but I don't know if you guys can see it on the shorts. We had an incident with the lemon garlic. Long story short, way too much got poured out. I've done that with the bags for sure. But we switched to bottles recently, so that's not really an issue anymore. But yeah, I sell spice blends for anybody who gives a crap. If you want to try some new spice blends to try to spice up your kitchen a little bit, here's my website. Check it out if you like. But anyway, yeah, one of the videos that I got for you guys coming up is I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the video where the white liberal ladies are talking to the black conservative ladies. What's up, princess? Can I help you?
Okay.
What you want, baby? You want alphabet cookies? Or you want chippies? Why'd it take you so long? Building up the suspense? Alright, hold on. Here you go, princess. You're welcome.
Look at these chips.
Yeah. What shape is that?
Right.
It is a triangle. Good job.
Oh.
Okay. I'm back. There we go. Oh, man. I forgot what I was saying before she walked up. My daughter's adorableness overwrites everything. Completely forget what I was talking about. But yeah, it's been an interesting 10 months now. And that's the tripped out part. That's the part that really baffles me, is we're literally 10 months into this presidency. We're just 10 months in, man. Like, it ain't even, we're not even at the halfway point. And look at all the stuff that's happened. I'd have never predicted that all the stuff that has taken place up until this point would have. It's kind of crazy to think that we've gotten to this point. We've had 2 assassination attempts and an actual assassination. Never could have predicted it. It really sucks though what happened to Charlie Kirk. Like I feel like it really affected me significantly more than I thought it was. because like I obviously cared about the stuff that he talked about, and you know, obviously I cared about the person, but just the idea of witnessing something like that firsthand. No, not more of that. I know. I know not more of that. Also, too, like I have to remember there's a delay from what he says and when he sees the. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, you know what really got me? It actually affected my wife a lot more than I thought it was gonna affect her. Because my wife, she don't really care about politics at all. Like she be hearing us talk about it, and she'll give her opinion and stuff. But for the most part, like she don't really be paying attention to this stuff all that much. But she was affected heavily by it, and I was like, wow, uh, I didn't expect her to care at all. Not because you know she don't care about like human life or whatever, but you know it's not like he has anything to do with her. You know what I mean? Or that she was particularly interested in anything he had to say. Like she didn't even really know about him until she started looking into it afterwards because she had people at her job telling her like, "Oh, you know, you hear about this piece of shit that died? They shot him in the neck, serves him right." And she's just like, "What the fuck are you saying? Like, who? What happened?" And they're just like, yeah, some dude got murdered. He was a scumbag piece of garbage. And, you know, I'm glad he's dead. And she's like, how the fuck are you saying that to me right now? Like, how are you looking me in the face right now and telling me that somebody got murdered and you're happy about it? Like, she was just, like, baffled. Like, she like, I don't even know who this person is, but I know that the fact that you're saying that to me right next to me and in my face is making me supremely uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I was on it when I heard about what happened. Dude, I was locked in. I really wanted to like not get into the whole social media cycle and really get into it, but I was captured, man. Because I was so baffled at the fact that something like that happened that it was difficult for me not to engage. Because you guys know me, like I was pretty much done with political content for a while because you know the shit was depressing me. But I had never been so like that shit charged me right back up. I was like, yeah, no way. There's no way we're about to let this happen and I'm just about to sit back and not say anything about it. And I know like I'm not naive enough to think that I'm somebody important or I have a voice that people need to hear. You know what I mean? Like I know what my videos what the views on my videos look like, you know. I'm not oblivious to that, but you know, just for my own personal reasons, I just could not say anything. Jesus Christ, I'm leveling up like crazy. I can't even like move because I'm leveling up so quick. But you know, the reason that I'm so passionate about this stuff and that I did come out and start making more content is because I do genuinely think that it's important. Um, Especially when stuff like political murder is starting to happen, when people are starting to die for their opinions, and people who I share opinions with, like that, things are getting a little more real than just like you know tossing out a video just to blow off some steam or to you know see where everybody else's head is at. Like it's a bit more serious of a situation now. I don't like the fact that that's the case, but seeing teachers gloating over Charlie Kirk's death is disgusting. Was not surprised that healthcare workers were getting involved. Dude, healthcare workers, lawyers, teachers, uh, like just any people from all walks of life. I couldn't believe it. And the worst part is these are the people who consider themselves like pillars of the community. Like these are the good people, the morally superior. And I'm just like, the baseline for moral superiority is political murder. That's insane. I like that the very idea that we have gotten to that point is unbelievable to me. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. But here we are. I think the next thing to affect people will be losing food stamps. I was watching a video of Dine and Dashers. Know that that's always been a thing. Oh well, yeah, that whole thing is becoming an issue too, because now people are saying like, oh, if they take away my food stamps, like I'm gonna start stealing and stuff now, and I'm just like, okay, let's not pretend like that wasn't always on the table for you, because if it's on the table now, then it's always been. So we're not gonna pretend like now you've become a thief because of this thing. Like that's we're not even gonna play that game. Uh, but putting that aside, you know, unfortunately, I think it's going to take something this drastic, like people losing access to these benefits. And I'm not talking about people who need them. I'm talking about the people, the able-bodied adults who are taking advantage of these systems that don't really need them, but get them anyway. Um, because Americans have put themselves in a situation where all these government assistant programs are kind of being used as leverage in order to keep these people impoverished. It's to keep their votes, to keep them kind of working against their own interests or whatever. And it's been a net negative for people in general. As soon as the Democrats found out that they can put people on these benefits and lock them into eternal votership from this point on, and they're just like, okay, these people belong to us now because we have created an apparatus and a situation where there's literally no way for them to survive without this stuff that we bring to them. Like this stuff that we afford to them, they literally can't survive without it. And we've made sure that we've created an ecosystem that does that for them. So it's either vote for us or die trying to feed your family. And I think that's fucked. Like we should not be there. I don't think that that's right at all. And I think that that is kind of set up the systematic downfall of a lot of people. And I'm not talking about just like black people or whatever, like any other race, because everybody's on benefits. Like everybody. There's no racial group in this country that does not utilize them. Like everybody does. So, obviously it's disproportionately representative of this group over that group or whatever, but that's not really what the issue is. The issue is it's a wide net that is designed to capture anybody who's willing to jump into it. And this net is fucking full. There's too many people in the net. It's been getting out of hand for a really long time. So I think I think the government or the Democrats in particular have been fucking around for a long time. And I think we are slipping into the find out era. Like we are right there at the cusp of the find out era now. And people are really starting to see the error of their ways and the position that they got put in. Oh, I didn't want to fight this boss yet. I jumped the gun. Well, we're here now. I'm doing some pretty good damage though. Unfortunately, I didn't spend any time upgrading my weapon because I locked it out. So this is going to be a problem for me. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to do any significant damage to this dude because my main weapon has not been upgraded at all. This is bad news, bears. Well, I'm doing some damage to him, just not a lot. But yeah, there's a ton of people, way too many people, in fact, that are on benefits that shouldn't have them. And I'm not just talking about like illegal immigrants and stuff. Like there are tons and tons and tons of able-bodied adults that can and do have the capacity to work who just decided like I'm not going to do that. Like I'm refusing to do that. Have you actually seen the bad news bears? Probably not. Why am I not attacking? What happened? Oh, he just like completely stopped attacking for a while. I'm doing damage, but it's definitely not a lot of damage. I don't think the systems or whatever are inherently bad. I just think that they were always meant to be temporary. And a lot of people treat them as just like a, you know, they don't treat it as a temporary plan to get themselves out of rough situations. They treat it as a lifeline. Uh, and I'm just like, that's not really what it's for. If you want to like provide lifetime support or whatever for people like that, then you might as well just go ahead and do universal basic income. Because at that point, we're wasting so much money and spending so much money on freaking on freaking giving these people all these resources and stuff anyway. At the end of the day, it'd probably be arguably less money to just give everybody a universally basic income. And that's not to say I'm like normally for something like that. I'm just saying like it would make more sense than fucking throwing away all this money doing the bullshit that they're doing. I don't know, man. Like I said, all these situations are very complex. A lot of moving pieces. Things aren't necessarily black and white. Oh shit, he about to fucking launch me in an orbit. Oh, come on, come on. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there. Got it. Yes, now I got my other weapon. This will help me out a little bit. UBI, built-in inflation. Like I said, it's literally just an alternative to what's happening right now. If they still wanted to help people, I don't think it's a good idea either. But I don't know. I don't know what we need to do to like dig ourselves out of the hole that we've gotten into. Politically, financially, there's a whole bunch of stuff. The one thing I do know is for the first time in my lifetime that I can recall, we have a president who's literally trying to do the things that he said he wanted to do. Y'all done? Look at your mouth. You made a mess. Wipe your mouth off. Here, you need a paper towel? Here. Wipe your mouth. Like this. There we go.
Great.
Yeah, wipe off the table and put it in trash. Good job, big girl. Okay. But yeah, anything else, you guys? Because I know I had some topics laid out that I wanted to cover, and I've been talking about them and stuff. But if you guys have any,
Bye.
bye, baby, I love you. If you guys have anything you wanted to talk about or whatever, I'm more than willing to talk about or look into. Because I know there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world too. The Hassan dog thing. Oh God. Okay. Well, uh, what do you want to know specifically? Like what you want to know if I think that he was actually shocking his dog? Because I feel like that's pretty self-evident. Does she worry about the imaginary friends you talking about Aaliyah? Aaliyah don't worry about nothing. Aaliyah is a free spirit. She don't care about nothing that I do. She do her thing and I do my thing. She don't be caring about what's going on. Am I actually gonna win this? I honestly did not plan on going into this and actually winning. Like I was just messing around, but it seems like I might actually beat this boss. I might be speaking too soon though, because he's like tossing me around. You know, one thing I will say is this is probably the first time I've ever seen something like affect him so much. Because like he's been in a lot of controversies, and based on from what I've seen, he always seems to be really unaffected by it because I guess he feels like he can get away with anything he wants to anyway. So it's just like, I don't have to care about none of these controversies. I got countless news media and stuff will write fluff pieces about me and all that kind of stuff. So, but this one seems to really, really affect him. And he obviously did what he did. Like he's trying to claim that he didn't, but immediately after he claimed he didn't, he started immediately rationalizing and justifying why he didn't, but it's okay if he did. You know what I mean? Like the moment people start doing that, where they're like, "This thing is bad," it's not happening at all. But even if it is, it's good. I'm like, okay, you did it. Whatever it is, you did it. Like as soon as you're like, "Oh, this thing didn't happen," but if it did, here's why it's not a bad thing. I'm like, yeah, you're guilty, 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But do I think he did it? 100%. Like there's extensive history of him talking about doing it. He's talking about how effective and successful he's been doing it. He talks about how it's normal and the thing that most people are doing. So I'm not buying. Fuck, man, this fucking character is about to fuck me over because he's so goddamn floaty. Every time I get hit by this thing, he floats in the air for like 10 fucking minutes. Okay, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's basically gone to the fact that she wasn't even wearing the collar at the time, which obviously is not true. I mean, no fucking reasonable person believes that. Emphasis on the reasonable part. Why am I not healing, bro? Oh, fuck you. Really? I hate that he can just stop my healing like that. That's bullshit. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, he's basically at the she wasn't wearing the collar part now. Who are you gonna believe, him or your lying eyes? Well, definitely not my lying eyes. They always lie to me. I can't believe I died. That's crazy. Absolute ludicrous. Y'all should when y'all get a chance, you should go over to my gaming channel and watch me play this game called Hellmart. It's like a horror slash supermarket simulator kind of game. I don't think I've had that much fun playing a game on stream in a while. That was probably the most fun stream that I had. I uploaded a video of the stream that's cut down so you guys can watch the whole thing without, all the stream bullcrap. 100% advise you go check it out. It's called Hellmart. It was so fun. Soon it's gonna be that there was no dog. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get to the point to where like I don't even have a dog. You don't have to buy this one. It's an early access, so you can just play the demo. Yeah, go download the demo while it's still available. You ain't gotta buy it yet. Did you play Water Park Sim? I did. I wasn't. I wasn't crazy about it. It was a little too janky for me. I like the idea of it, which is why I downloaded it in the first place, because I was like, this looks cool. But then I was playing it, and I'm just like, man, this jankiness is too much for me. But I did think it was interesting. I can't wait until I'm waiting for the Ratcoin game to come out. The coin machine game, the coin push game. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm yearning for. I'm excited for that one. That game that game hits all the buttons. Like everything that I love about games like that, it's got all of it. I'm like, yes, this game was made for me. Another game to get addicted to, just like Megabunk. Although Megabunk wasn't as addictive as Vampire Survivors was for me. Although I've been playing Megabunk. I've also been playing Trails in the Sky, the first one, the remake, on my Steam Deck. I'm debating on the Mr. Nomad. Mr. Nomad? It's the one with the underground bunker and the desert zombies. All right, now I gotta look. I was just looking at this trailer from this game called Escape from Duckov, and it's like a Tarkov kind of game with ducks. And I'm just like, what is this? Vampire Survivors kept surprising me with how good it was. Yeah, man, I don't even, how many hours did I put into Vampire Survivors? It might not be as many as I thought. I played it a lot though. Oh shit, TCG just added a scanner to their game. After all this time, they finally added a scanner to their game. Wow. That's crazy. I got distracted. I'm always getting distracted, man. I'm so easily distracted, dude. I am the literal human embodiment of ooh piece of candy. Oh, by the way, for people who know what I'm talking about, the game House Party is looking for voice actors. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just move on. We don't need to talk about it. If you do know what I'm talking about, they're looking for voice actors. So if you wanna put your voice on that permanently, then go ahead. Infection for Free Zone got an update. Well, what was that game you said? What was it called? Hold on. No, what is this? That's not what I was looking for. The game he said was called what? Shit. Where'd it go? Mr. Nomad. There it is. Mr. There's Mr. Prepper and Mr. Nomad. There's also a Mr. Mine. Oh, I seen somebody playing this. Okay. Yeah, I did see somebody playing this not too long ago. This one's kind of interesting. What kind of voice actors? Like I said, if you don't know immediately what I'm talking about, then you don't need to. If you do know what I'm talking about, then go check it out. If you don't, then keep your pure heart. Let me see. I played this one game. It was a supercar collection simulator. Like they were like little like Matchbox cars or what's the other one? Like Hot Wheels or whatever. That one was pretty good. A little bare bones, but I liked it. I feel like I should go back and check out Wild West Simulator too. You know damn well I don't have a pure heart. Well, clearly it's purer than mine because you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think I'm gonna suck it up and do some supermarket simulator videos tonight. I've been meaning to cover the mods and stuff. I just hadn't got around to it. I've been being lazy. Not really lazy, but I've just been doing other stuff. Mm. Oh, excuse me. How long have I been streaming now? We're going on 2 hours, so you don't want to know. You shouldn't have told me, but you did, so trust me. Well, it's not crossed my path. I mean, well, you have access to Steam. Just look up House Party if you're really interested. Like I said, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm already kind of self-reporting, but you know, if you're curious enough, you'll find it. I had a lot of fun playing that game, dude. Oh my god, I have done like 30 things and not the thing that I was looking for. I came over here to see how many hours I have in Vampire Survivors. Okay, I got 238 hours. That's not crazy. That's pretty good. Nothing compared to 7 Days to Die. I got 2,600 hours in 7 Days to Die. I wonder how much hours I got in Final Fantasy 14 on PC. Man, I kind of miss Final Fantasy 14. I don't miss paying for it though. I kind of miss playing it. I don't miss paying for it. Cooking Simulator VR enhanced? Wait a minute, they fixed Cooking Simulator VR? We We built a fully refreshed Cooking Simulator VR and we hope you will enjoy it. Meanwhile, if you want to engage, find out more. Hell yeah, I want to check this out. We've rebuilt the game in Unreal Engine 5. Oh, I don't know about that. We have 4K visuals, enhance the physics. We added dynamic day and lighting. Enhance the physics is important. That's the part I care about. I don't really care about the graphics and shit. But yeah, I'm gonna check this out. I love Cooking Simulator, especially in VR. Maybe I'll do a Cooking Simulator VR stream. Unreal 5. Dude, Unreal 5 has a bad rap right now, man. I know there's a lot of good games coming out of it, but there's too many bad ones. I guess it's not the engine's fault, but I don't know. Excuse me. All right, so I think we had some fun here. I definitely had fun chatting with you guys. Like I said, I don't know exactly how often I'm gonna do these, but I'd like to try to do them more often. And because sometimes I just want to shoot the shit and talk some shit. So if y'all are down and interested, oh, it could very well be the engine's fault. It could very well be the engine's fault, but I don't want to just blame it on the engine completely because there's a lot of shitty devs out here just doing stupid stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, I try to do maybe two of these a week, starting off. Just like we'll pick like 2 days or whatever, so that way we can just talk some shit, talk about games, talk about drama and stuff that's going on in the world. Um, but definitely not every day. I definitely won't be streaming every day. I will be uploading a short every day for the foreseeable future. So expect those, but everything else. Oh, speaking of, I probably just had my latest short drop on my channel about 10 minutes ago. So go check that one out. And if you haven't watched the one from before, go watch that one too. Because support and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys had fun. I will see you guys on the next one.